Hello and welcome back once again to Infinite Jeff, the project where I, Jeff, read the book Infinite Jest to you one page at a time, one day at a time. Put it up on YouTube for you to listen to, peruse. What is Infinite Jest? It's a book by David Foster Wallace, published originally in 1996. But, here we go. Let's just get right to it. Page number 189. Here we go. Explaining he'd way rather listen and watch, and he is a fanatical listener/observer. He treats the lavish Tatsuoka Fringe FM band tuner in the living room of the headmaster's house like kids of 3 generations past, listening to the way other kids watch TP, opting for mono and sitting right up close to one of the speakers with his head cocked dog-like, listening, staring into that special pocket of near middle distance reserved for the serious listener. He really does have to sit right up close to listen to 60 Minutes plus or minus. When he's over at the HMH, footnote 65, with CT and sometimes Hal, at his mother's late suppers, because Avril has some auditory thing about broadcast sound and gets the howling fantods from any voice that does not exit a living corporeal head. And though Avril's made it clear that Mario's free at any time to activate and align the Tatsuoka's ghostly green tuner to whatever he wishes, he keeps the volume so low that he has to be lowered onto a low coffee table and lean in and almost put his ear up against the woofer's tremble and concentrate closely to hear YYY's signal over the conversation in the dining room, which tends to get sort of maniacally high-pitched towards the end of supper. Avril never actually asked Mario to keep it down. He does it out of unspoken consideration for her thing about sound. Another of her unspoken but stressful things involves issues of enclosure, and the HMH has no interior doors between rooms, and not even much in the way of walls, and the living and dining rooms are separated only by a vast multi-level tangle of houseplants in pots and on little stools of different heights, and arrayed under hanging UV lamps of an intensity that tends to give the diners strange little patterns of tan that differ according to where someone usually sits at the table. Hal sometimes complains privately to Mario that he gets more than enough UV during the day, thank you very much. The plants are incredibly lush and hale and sometimes threaten to block off the whole easement from dining to living room, and the rope-handled Brazilian machete CT had mounted on the wall by the tremulous china case had stopped really being a joke. The moms called the house plants her green babies, and she has a rather spectacular thumb, plant-wise, for a Canadian. The leucodermatic, the xanthodantic, the maxillofacially swollen, those with distorted orbits of all kinds, get out from under the sun's cover lighting, or cova lighting is what this says, come in from the spectral rain. Madam Psychosis's broadcast accent is not Boston. There are R's, for one thing, and there is no cultured Cambridge stutter. It is the accent of someone who spent time either losing a southern lilt or cultivating one. It's not flat and twangy like Stice's, and it's not a drawl like the people at Gainesville's Academy. Her voice itself is sparely modulated and strangely empty, as if she were speaking from inside a small box. It's not bored or laconic or ironic or tongue-in-cheek. The basilic breathed and the Peoric? I mean, I know I've seen that word before. Inflammation of the gums, characterized by the discharge of pus and loosening of the teeth. Ew. Pyorrhea, so Peoric. Or Peoric. It's reflective, but not judgmental somehow. Her voice seems low-depth familiar to Mario, the way certain childhood smells will strike you as familiar and oddly. Alright, that is page 189 of Infinite Jest. Here on Infinite Jeff. It's Infinite Jeff's the sweaty amalgamation that I give to you. Anyway, yeah. All right.